I bought a few books. Yeah. Hello and welcome to my first book haul of the year. I sort of was just collecting books. Now this is over like the end of November, December, January, so quite a while in my defense, and I hope I don't do another book haul until at least July, because there's no way I'm ever getting through these, plus all my other TBRs. It's not gonna happen. Let's get straight into it, because there are a lot. To be precise, there are 16 books that I've got to get through, so let's get going. Not really sure how to start this off, where to start, how to go about it, but we'll attempt it this way. I made a book depository order, of course, don't all of these videos start like that, and picked up quite a few things. I think there was 10 in the book depository order alone, so there you go. The reason I made the order wasn't on any particular book. It was just that I wanted to get a few new books for the new year to really get back into my reading, everything like that. So I took the risk and I picked up Life and Death, the reimagining of Twilight. Now you know I love Twilight, love it. I'm not sure if this is the right time for me to be reading this. So if you don't know anything about it, it's essentially the Twilight story, but Edward is a male called Edith, and no, what? Edward is a male, yeah. Edward is a female in this story called Edith, so the vampire is a lady, and Bella is a boy called Beau. So it's the same story, a few bits are different, I have heard, but just a reimagining with switched gender roles. So could be interesting. I could be sitting there the whole time comparing it to the original and being like, you're not Edward, but we'll find out. Speaking of Twilight, I also picked up Twilight and New Moon in French. So that is, if I'm going to read it in a terrible English accent, Fascination and Temptation. Not how you're going to say them. Yeah, I want to work on my French. I've read these books many a times. I probably know them pretty damn well, so gonna go for these. I only picked up the two because let's not go overboard with the French books. I still haven't even read the Harry Potter one that I bought this time last year. Next up in the book depository order, the Mara Dyer series. I was drawn to one of them, like, while I was searching through. I think it was this one. I saw the cover and the story of the unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and I was super fascinated. I believe this is actually the first one as well. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I believe this is the first, then the evolution of Mara Dyer, and then the retribution of Mara Dyer. Or is it the other way around? Anyway, I picked up the trilogy. I am interested in reading them. They actually sound really quite interesting and right up my alley, so I'm going to give these a go. Also in the book depository order was, it was a pre-order, but it's come now, and it is the Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. I really enjoyed the Divergent book series. I make that distinction because while I enjoyed Divergent, the first film, it totally lost me after that, and I don't know why they didn't just stick more towards the film, towards the books, because the first one is pretty damn close, like pretty damn close to the first book, and then the second one they were just like, let's do what we want. Didn't like it. It didn't have the same feels. I haven't even seen Allegiant because the second one put me off that much. So, the book series. And I'm pretty excited to see how she goes with the new book. It's also quite beautiful. It is a bigger book because it's a new release, and that always really bothers me because these are so much harder to carry around than like you know, this. Like, so frustrating. But I'm excited to read it and I didn't want to wait, so it'll probably be coming up in one of my book corners very soon. So there's a bit of a theme in my book depository order, and it was sort of fantastical YA, I would say. The next one that I picked up was Three Dark Crowns. This, I just read the back and it sounded super interesting and I was super keen. So there are 3 triplets. One is a fierce elemental that's like fire and everything like that. One is a poisoner, which is pretty cool. So kind of like Poison Ivy, something like her. And one is a naturalist. Oh, it's all about the earth and stuff. This just sounds really cool. I'm really intrigued by it. You could choose between different covers, which I didn't realize, and I'm pretty sure I actually ordered a different cover than this one, but I really like the orange spine, so I'm not gonna complain. Also on the fantastical front, it is Six of Crows. I've heard a fair bit about this one. I don't really know if I'm going to enjoy it. I picked it up anyway because I was already doing the order and it was cheap, and why not? Yeah, I know a little bit about it. It's a little bit more steampunk, probably more than I've ever read before in my life. But we'll see how it goes. Again, it's a bigger one. It's not super high on my TBR. Like a few of the other books that I bought in this are higher, and it probably won't get read for quite a while, but I picked it up anyway. Lastly, in the book depository order, and I actually think it might have been one of the last things that I added to the book depository order, is The Girl of Ink and Stars, which is also a really gorgeous cover with some foiling on the front there. And this just sounded really interesting. It's about a girl, she lives on an island and she always looks at the stars, dreams of, oh gosh, she dreams of going to other places, which her father talked about because he's an explorer or a cartographer or something. It just sounds like something I'd be pretty cool in. It's only a little one, so it'll be a nice quick read, and yeah. So other than my book depository order, I ridiculously kept going into local stores, not bookstores because they're so expensive, but like Big W and Kmart and stuff like that. I kept going into those stores where the books are pretty cheap, and I kept picking up new things. After I said I wouldn't, because I made the book depository order and I was like, that's it, that's all I need for the year. And then I kept going in and there were books that I wanted. And obviously people release new books quite regularly and I ended up buying more. So here we go for more, if you're still with me. I picked up The Graces. It's about witches. It's about witches. I had to buy it. I love witch stories. I have always loved witch stories. I used to read Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which is a really long series. I don't think I ever collected all the books for that. It was ridiculous how many there were, but I had a lot. I still have. They're probably somewhere, not around, but I used to read those. I watched the TV series. I watched everything that had to do with witches, still do, and so I bought this. That's like, what more can I say? Moving on. I have kind of heard of The Edge of Everything, but also like not really, but I know it's pretty much what I'm after. I don't know. There's comments from Cassandra Clare, Peter Jackson. It's a really gorgeous cover. Yes, I sort of picked it up because of the orange edging, because isn't that awesome? Like, that's not the spine. It's just orange. Yeah, it seems cool. It's another small one that will be easy to get through because I kind of realized I was picking up quite, not large, but like larger books, and it's good to have a few of the smaller ones when you're sort of like maybe feeling in a little bit of a rut or something and you just want to get through a book. So yeah, I picked this one up. I've heard a little bit about it, excited to read it, mainly bought it because it looked pretty. I'll be honest. It's pastel. These were two of the books that I actually picked up first when I was like just walking around, probably more towards the end of December. Girl in Pieces. This just, I feel like, is me. No, it's, oh, well, it was me. Maybe, I don't know. We'll find out when I read it. So, on the back, you can spot the girls who will have it easy. I don't even have to describe them for you. You can spot the girls who will get by on smarts. You can spot the girls who will get by because they're tough or athletic. And then there's me. So if you ever feel like an outsider or something like that, this is probably one of those books for you. Again, the cover is really gorgeous. It's embossed over the stitching. I can show you. You're not really going to be able to tell, but it is, and it's also orange. And I got it. Of course I got it, so I'm holding it. Another cover that drew me towards it was The Weight of Zero. I had also looked at this on Goodreads. It's a little bit about bipolar disorder. Essentially, I am really interested in reading a little bit more books that sort of have to do with mental illness and stuff like that. Things that aren't a visible illness, but are very real and very out there, because we all have our own hidden demons, and I think it's great when books grapple with that sort of stuff. I bought it because it was interesting. I bought it because the cover is really, really pretty. The last book that I bought from just one of the local stores only just came out very recently. It's a Neil Gaiman, and it is Norse mythology. I honestly don't know much about it except that it's Neil Gaiman. He's a great writer. Norse mythology is super interesting. I'm interested in any type of mythology. I enjoy that sort of stuff. Before the beginning, there was nothing. No earth, no heavens, no stars, no sky. Only the mist world, formless and shapeless, and the fire world always burning. I know, it just seems really cool. And also, again, look at this cover. Like, what? Gorgeous. The last book I got from a book subscription, it's called Novelty, and it's spelled Noveltea, because you get a book and you get tea, and it's all about creating the perfect night in. The tea looks lovely and it sounds right up my street. The book I have not heard of before. It's called Blue Tide by Jenna Lynn Duncan. If you've read this book or you've heard of it, let me know, because I haven't. Ooh, it's about a character called Lux. Can't help but think of the Virgin Suicides. It says it's an award-winning YA adventure-packed romance steeped in Middle Eastern culture and set in the Asian Pacific amongst dangerous oceans and tropical islands. So it could be cool. It's not really going to be super high on my TBR just because I didn't personally choose it. But it sounds cool, and I'm obviously gonna give it a go at some point. That is it. Thank you for lasting through this video. I'm so sorry that I bought so many books, half of them just because they were pretty, the other half because it was a story I liked, and etc. Anyway, that's the end. I'll catch you in my next one. Let me not keep you any longer. Goodbye. I'm never gonna be able to take this bloody shot. Okay, I'm gonna leave that.